Night Dreams Talk Radio, After Dark, wants to give a big shout out to all the truckers that listen to our show. Night Dreams Talk Radio Network brings you the World Paranormal News with James Creechbaum. Now, the latest news.
I'm James Creechbaum with the Paranormal and World Changes News. Scientists are racing to figure out why this giant glacier in Antarctica is melting so fast. The giant Thwaites Glacier is one of the fastest melting glaciers on the coast of Antarctica, and scientists are trying to find out why. Now, the Thwaites Glacier covers more than 74,000 square miles, which is roughly the area larger than Florida. The Great Pyramid's hidden chamber is set for a re-scan. Researchers from Japan will be conducting a new scans in an effort to confirm the presence of a hidden chamber. Now, in a renewed bid to determine once and for all if there really is a hidden chamber in the Great Pyramids, the Egyptian government has given an okay. Could a pill ever be substitute for exercise? Scientists have discovered a protein that may be responsible for the benefits that we get from exercise. Now, the idea that a simple pill could ever replace physical exercise sounds like something out of a science fiction movie. But now, according to the new research, in the near future, such a thing may actually be possible. Recently, there's been a video of and a picture of what looks like a giant hand of God shaped from clouds. Now, in the night on Thursday, January the 9th, many people saw the cloud in the shape of a mysterious hand in the towns of Assunción and Juan Janeiro, Paraíba, Carrera region of Brazil. Several residents posted a curious picture on social networks whereby one resident said, "Look how beautiful the hand of God is always stretched out for us." Worldwide mystery hum has been solved at last. Scientists have discovered the source of the mysterious humming sound that has been heard around the world. The enormous seismic hum was first picked up back in November and was thought to have originated nearby Mayotte, a small island between Madagascar and Mozambique. Turns out it's seismic activity, which there's been a lot of that around the world recently for sure. Now, a supermarket in Scotland has filmed what they claim is a ghost that attacked a saleswoman. According to a British newspaper, a poltergeist attack on the seller happened recently in a small town in Scotland. And when arranging the goods, the video shows the store employee at one point wanted to lean her foot on a plastic box standing on the floor. But someone invisible pushes the box away and the girl takes a fall. Well, bad news for space colonists. Martian water may be gone when you get there. If you're planning a trip to Mars, you may want to contact one of the heads of the spaceship owners, and you might want to take a load of water to the red planet, a lot of water. All of those scientific studies have been showing the existence of water on Mars may be negated by a new one which shows water escaping from the planet faster than expected. Next news break tomorrow night.
Coming to you from some far point station, like a cosmic tumbleweed, both north and south of the Pleiades. Here's your host, Gary Anderson.
And that is me down at the compound with a storm just going by. No, actually, that was here a couple days ago. But you know what, James? They can always recycle the water.
Well, you know what it said a little bit further down in that eventually you can only recycle your water from what for a certain time of period. You have to have other water there, and it again. You're talking a what 5.5 year round trip, so that's a lot of water.
Yeah, you know what? The snow caps on Mars, they seem to be disappearing. So that's what they're talking about. The atmosphere can't hold it in. Again, back last year, they were scientists debating that they had different ways they could, make the world of Mars back livable. One was they could nuke the ice caps. That would melt the ice and create like a ocean. Another scientist said, "Oh, you can't do that. That'll irradiate the water, so the water won't be, usable." And then a third scientist group said, "No, come on, guys, think about it. The atmosphere is too thin to hold it. It'll just evaporate." So,
yeah, very true. Plus, who wants to drink radiated water? Plus, you're liable to blow what's left of the atmosphere off too. It's that's not a good idea.
I don't want to drink my recycled water either. Just
Nope.
even thought of any of that. Do we want to really go to Mars at this point? Unless we do have the technology. Maybe the government will step up someday here and say, we already have the technology. We've been on Mars. And maybe some of these people who claim that they served in a secret space force aren't lying. Well, I don't know. Let's get back to Steve. Hey, Steve, you are still with us?
I'm still with you.
I would be so excited. I only had one encounter, and that was in New Mexico. Back in the early 70s, around 73, 74, somewhere around there, of a UFO. And that's what got me to be a believer. To you, I mean, how often, can you go out on your deck or your property every night and capture this? Or is there days and weeks that go by you don't see anything?
Yes. For every video that you see that I have on my YouTube channel, there's about a month of being out and being bored silly. What I tried to mention earlier too was the mistakes. The mistakes were actually good because those were things that you saw that looked fabulous, turned out to be something else, but those kept you motivated until you found out they weren't. It's like, can you imagine going outside every night for a year and walking away with one capture? That would be incredibly horrible to have to do something like that.
But would it?
But
would it, Steve? I mean, if you could come out even once a year and you got a capture of something that's unidentified, that is so unique, even one a year, would be, for me, I would be extremely happy.
Well, I just didn't look at it that way. It was so weird, Gary. I mean, it was 2011 and moving to Las Vegas. That was the strangest thing of all. That's when everything began. Even Canada happened after I came to Las Vegas. And, once I had seen two of them in a 2.5 year period after 57 years of never seeing any, that's when I thought, you know what, I have a good chance here. I can really try to just do something that nobody's able to do. And, I have a friend in Phoenix who said, you have the best seat on the planet to view UFOs. Just my backyard is so amazing. I do go out and go other places, but, from here, is I can see everywhere. I know where to look. That's where all my experience is. And now what's new is they seem to be coming closer to my location. And those are the videos that are turning out to be even better and better. And, it's just incredible, but it's just a amount of, how much time you're willing to put into it. And then, how seriously you take it. But yeah, I think I'm in, Nevada, who knows, maybe we don't have that many sightings, But I'll tell you what, if you get on YouTube and start reading comments from locals, it's hard to meet a local here who hasn't seen something. You know, once you start reading their comments, you realize, like, it's like Art Bell sitting on that back patio, right? All of a sudden, here comes a gigantic triangle. I mean, that's just, you know, it just knocks your socks off.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you can go all your life. If you don't see it, then you're a doubter. But once you've encountered something, you can't explain what it is. You know, I'll tell you mine real quick. I was coming back. I took a job in North Carolina. It didn't work out. Me and my wife at that time decided we're going to get a divorce, come back to Seattle. And when we're coming through the desert of New Mexico, the car, all around the car lit up bright. Now, I was in the military, just like you. I wasn't in the Navy. I was in the Army. And I've been on a lot of helicopters, you know, especially in Vietnam. And the first thing I figured, okay, I'm getting pulled over by a police helicopter because I was going really fast. So I do the honorable thing. I pull off to the side of the road, but this light was crazy bright. The whole inside of this is late at night. The whole car was lit up and all around it brighter than daylight. So I get out of the car and the light is so intense it's hurting my eyes. I was stupid. I did see about 1,000 feet behind me another set of headlights, and they were stopped, but I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was a helicopter, but I then immediately noticed something. Your brain kind of goes in shock when you see something that's out of the ordinary. It really does. The first thing I noticed, there was absolutely no sound. Nothing. Dead silence. It's like if you were in a soundproof room. That's how quiet it was. And then the light just like, poof, instantly it was gone. But I heard no sound of a helicopter. I didn't hear any sound of any equipment noise or anything that would have been a, plane, anything. And I tell you what, that scared me like you wouldn't believe. But then after a little while, I kind of blew it off. But that's when I realized there's something out there that we don't know what it is.
Right. Well, and what you just said, the sound, right? We all know. I mean, I've known my whole life watching, documentaries and shows when they say there's no sound, and you always hear that, right? But when you experience it and it's close and you don't hear anything, like you said, it's just like you said, a soundproof room. When that happens, it does throw you off.
Oh, yeah. If you go out in the desert at night, you hear different weird sounds. You do. You can't go out anywhere at night and without hearing sounds. To be out in the middle of nowhere and hear absolutely nothing, that was the scary part.
Yeah, that's spooky.
So I no doubt that you're capturing something out there. What I'm trying to figure out is what are they doing going on to your mountainsides over there, the hillsides, right, and what they're putting orbs out or something out. Are they checking like for radiation? Maybe are they checking about
It could be underground tunnels. It could be minerals. It could be a lot of things. Gary, one of the things that's a kind of a benefit of doing this now since April of 2014, is you start seeing patterns. And one of the things that I'm finding out and that I learned while